In the 13th century, one name changed the course of history: Genghis Khan. His name is linked with violence, destruction, and the fall of great cities. He was the Mongol leader who conquered vast parts of the world. From China to Europe, his armies were feared everywhere. Genghis Khan brought together the scattered Mongol tribes and turned them into a powerful army. At its height, the Mongol Empire controlled nearly 22% of the world's land. But there is something many people do not realize. Genghis Khan was himself a Mongol, born into a poor and difficult life, not into power. He was not born a Muslim. In fact, his armies destroyed many Muslim regions. Some people assumed he was Muslim only because of the word Khan in his name. Today, the title Khan is mostly associated with Muslims, which adds to this confusion. But this is where history takes an unexpected turn. The same Genghis Khan who once fought Muslim lands would later see his family convert to Islam. Not only that, his descendants would go on to become some of Islam's strongest protectors. This raises an important question. How did such a dramatic change happen? Was it a political decision or was it driven by genuine religious belief? Was the Mongol conversion to Islam forced or did it happen by choice? Today, I will explain how Genghis Khan's grandsons and later generations accepted Islam. Who was the first Mongol ruler said to have converted? Which Mongol king was the first to read the Quran? You will also learn how large parts of the Mongol Empire slowly became part of the Islamic world. And we will address an important question: why Genghis Khan destroyed major Islamic cities and centers? To understand the full story, watch the video till the end. Before we begin, let me clear up a common misunderstanding. Genghis Khan was not a Muslim. Many people are confused by the word Khan in his name. Among the Mongols, Khan simply meant king or ruler. Genghis Khan did not follow Islam. He followed a belief system called Tengrism, which was common in Mongolia and Siberia. In this belief, the sky, known as Tengri, was considered the supreme power. Nature and spirits were also worshipped. When Genghis Khan united the Mongols and founded the Mongol Empire, most of his early soldiers followed this belief. Over time, people from other religions also joined his armies. These included Buddhists, Christians, and Muslims. This raises an important question. If Muslims were present in the Mongol armies, how did those same armies bring such destruction to the Islamic world? That is what we will now explore. Why were the Mongols seen as a threat to Islam? The main reason is that Genghis Khan and his descendants destroyed some of the most important centers of the Islamic world. Khwarezm was devastated during Genghis Khan's campaigns. Later, his grandson Hulagu Khan destroyed Baghdad, one of the greatest cities in Islamic history. Many historians see the fall of Baghdad as the end of Islam's Golden Age. However, it is important to understand one thing clearly. This destruction was not driven by religious hatred. The Mongols were focused on expanding their empire, not on attacking any particular religion. For example, Genghis Khan attacked Khwarezm after his envoys were insulted and no apology was given. This was a political and diplomatic conflict, not a religious one. Genghis Khan's army included large numbers of slaves and soldiers from conquered regions, many of whom were Muslims. His administration also had Muslim officials. One such figure was Mahmud Yalavakh, a Muslim administrator who served as governor of Turkestan under Genghis Khan. Historian Thomas Tialsen, in his book The Mongol Empire, Its Rise and Legacy, notes that religious tolerance was a key factor in how the Mongol Empire functioned and expanded. This tolerance, not religious conflict, defined Mongol rule in its early years. Historians explain this policy in clear terms. They argue that Genghis Khan's approach was practical and effective. It helped bring together people from different cultures, especially in the early years of the Mongol Empire. Historian David Morgan, in his book The Mongols, also points out that Genghis Khan's main objective was to build a powerful empire, not to promote or impose any religion. Now, it is important to understand what happened after Genghis Khan's death. His vast empire was divided into four major parts. These were the Golden Horde, the Chagatai Khanate, the Ilkhanate, and the Yuan dynasty. Among these, the first Mongol state to embrace Islam was the Golden Horde. This region included parts of present-day Russia, Ukraine, and Kazakhstan. The Golden Horde was founded by Batu Khan, the son of Chochi, who was Genghis Khan's eldest son. The Ilkhanate adopted Islam gradually over time. The Chagatai Khanate, on the other hand, went through a long period of religious uncertainty. Meanwhile, the Yuan dynasty in China supported Buddhism and Taoism instead of Islam. This picture will become clear as the story moves forward. For now, this overview is enough to understand one key point. During and after Genghis Khan's time, Islam spread across vast regions of the world on an unprecedented scale. The Mongols came into contact with Islam in the 12th century through Muslim traders. These traders traded textiles and utensils from Mongol regions, receiving animal skins from the Mongols in return. Genghis Khan encouraged this trade, leading to the Muslim community's relationship with the Mongols. However, this relationship became even more complicated when the Mongols conquered China. Around 1215, Genghis Khan conquered present-day Beijing, then known as Yanjing. The Mongols began to distrust the Chinese people. Furthermore, the Mongols did not trust the Chinese to handle financial matters in China, such as collecting taxes and running the administration. Therefore, the Mongols appointed numerous Muslim experts, particularly those renowned in the fields of astronomy, revenue, and medicine, to China. Among these experts, a prominent figure was the Persian astronomer Jamal al-Din. He came to China around 1250 and helped the Chinese build an observatory. Thus, if you look at it, there was a consistent Western influence in the Mongol administration. At the same time, knowledge and culture from East Asia were also being exchanged. This growing interaction brought Mongols and Muslims closer to each other. As a result, in the 1240s, a Mongol named Kharos became the first known Mongol to convert to Islam. Kyrgyz belonged to the Uyghur tribe. Today, Uyghur Muslims are among the most persecuted communities in China. But historically, they once ruled a powerful empire of their own. That story has a rich and separate history, and it can be covered in another video. After Kyrgyz, Mongol conversions to Islam began to increase. A major reason for this was the influence of Sufi saints. As Sufism spread across Central Asia, Mongol rulers and nobles came into close contact with Sufi scholars. These Sufis held a strong influence within Mongol courts. One ruler deeply influenced by them was Berke Khan. Berke Khan ruled the Golden Horde, which controlled vast regions from present-day Russia to parts of Eastern Europe. Berke Khan accepted Islam in the city of Bukhara in 1252. He converted under the guidance of the Sufi scholar Saifuddin al-Bakhraji. One reason for his conversion was personal belief. Berke Khan had already heard about Islam from Muslim prisoners in Mongol lands, and his curiosity had grown over time. When Saifuddin al-Bakhraji explained Islamic teachings to him, Berke Khan was deeply impressed. There was also a political reason. After converting, Berke Khan formed an alliance with the Muslim Mamluk Sultanate of Egypt. This alliance was aimed at countering Hulagu Khan, the ruler of the Ilkhanate, who followed Buddhism. From this point onward, Islam began to take firm root within large parts of the Mongol world. If you look at the Golden Horde on a map, you will notice that the Volga-Bulga region within it had a large Muslim population. Because of this, Berke Khan's conversion to Islam helped him build stronger ties with the local Muslim communities. It also gave him greater legitimacy as a ruler. There was another advantage as well. Most of Berke Khan's neighboring states were Muslim, and accepting Islam helped him maintain political balance in the region. For these reasons, Berke Khan became the first Mongol ruler to formally embrace Islam. His conversion marked an important turning point in Mongol history. When a ruler adopts a new religion, it often influences the beliefs and direction of the entire state. And this was no exception. After this, Islam spread rapidly within the Golden Horde. The same pattern repeated across its territories. Many Mongol soldiers married Muslim women, and through these marriages, large numbers of Mongols accepted Islam. Now, the ruler Berke Khan opposed was Hulagu Khan. Hulagu Khan was also a Mongol and a cousin of Berke Khan. After embracing Islam, Berke Khan declared jihad against Hulagu Khan. He tried to stop Hulagu from advancing further into Islamic lands, including Baghdad. This was a major turning point. By doing this, Berke Khan broke a long-standing Mongol rule that forbade Mongols from fighting each other. For the first time, religious belief overrode Mongol unity. Berke Khan's conversion to Islam allowed him to openly oppose Hulagu Khan. This created a deep political and ideological split within the Mongol Empire. Some historians argue that this split was crucial. They believe that if Berke Khan had not resisted Hulagu Khan, more sacred Islamic cities such as Mecca, Medina, and Jerusalem might have faced the same fate as Baghdad. This brings us to the next important question. How exactly was Baghdad destroyed? And why was it so important to the Islamic world? That is what we will now understand. Now, it is clear that Berke Khan's actions created serious divisions among the Mongols. After Berke Khan, his successor Uzbek Khan accelerated the spread of Islam within the Golden Horde. He came to power in 1313 and just 1 year later, he declared Islam the official religion of the state. In the same year, a large mosque was built in the Crimean city of Solkat. By this point, Islam was spreading rapidly among the Mongols. By 1315, Uzbek Khan had firmly Islamized the Golden Horde. He even ordered the killing of several Buddhist lamas who opposed his religious policies. During his reign, Islam became a state-sponsored religion. This meant that the ruler himself actively promoted it. So far, we have seen how Islam spread within Berke Khan's line of rulers. Now, let us turn to the Ilkhanate. The Ilkhanate was founded by Hulagu Khan in Iran. At its height, it included present-day Iran, Azerbaijan, and Turkey, along with Iraq, Syria, Armenia, Georgia, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, and parts of Pakistan. Hulagu Khan destroyed Baghdad in 1258, bringing the Abbasid Caliphate to an end. This created a major power vacuum in the Islamic world. Yet, within this same Ilkhanate, a ruler would later emerge who took a very different path. His name was Mahmud Ghazan Khan. He was the seventh ruler of the Ilkhanate and is remembered as the first truly great Mongol ruler to fully embrace Islam. This is where the next phase of the story begins. Ghazan Khan accepted Islam in 1295 and publicly declared himself a Muslim. After his conversion, he encouraged and in some cases pressured other Mongol nobles to accept Islam as well. This decision led to the rapid spread of Islam across the Ilkhanate. During Ghazan Khan's reign, Buddhism was treated as idol worship and faced persecution. Jewish and Christian communities were also restricted. As a result, Islam became firmly established throughout the Ilkhanate. This transformation deepened under his son Oljai II, who accepted Shiism. His conversion played a major role in spreading Shia Islam in Iran, an influence that continues to this day. These rulers also reshaped governance. They combined traditional Mongol laws, known as the Yasa, with Islamic law. This fusion created a new Turco-Mongol administrative system across the Middle East, blending steppe traditions with Islamic governance. Now let us turn to another Mongol state, the Chagatai Khanate. This Khanate ruled large parts of Central Asia and was governed by the descendants of Chagatai Khan, the second son of Genghis Khan. The first ruler in this Khanate to accept Islam was Tarmashirin Khan. He converted around 1331 and took the name Ala-Din. He should not be confused with Ala-Din Khilji. However, his conversion was not accepted. Tarmashirin Khan was eventually executed. The reason was simple. The Chagatai Khanate held a strong Mongol identity. Its people followed Tengrism, the traditional belief of Genghis Khan, and deeply respected Mongol customs. Because of this, Islam struggled to gain influence in the region for a long time. But when change finally came, it was dramatic. A new ruler, Tughlaq Timur Khan, rose to power. He accepted Islam himself and actively promoted it. Historical accounts suggest that nearly 200,000 people converted to Islam during his reign. This marked the true entry of Islam into the Chagatai Khanate. At the same time, Turkic culture became stronger in the region. The Khanate gradually became both Islamic and Turkified. Later, in 1370, Timur, also known as Timur Leng, sought legitimacy through the Chagatai legacy. He married a princess of the Chagatai dynasty and took the title Gurgan, meaning son-in-law of Genghis Khan. Through this, Timur linked his rule directly to the family of Genghis Khan. Following this same Timurid and Mongol tradition, the Mughal dynasty later emerged in the Indian subcontinent. By the time of Timur's rule, the old Mongol identity rooted in Genghis Khan's traditions had largely faded. The state had become fully Islamic. This is how the descendants of Genghis Khan gradually embraced Islam, step by step and at different times. The pace of this change differed across Mongol Khanates. Rulers such as Berke Khan, Ghazan Khan, and Tarmashrin Khan played key roles in this transformation. Over time, interest in Islam increased for several reasons. It helped ensure political stability, strengthened ties with local Muslim populations, and created unity within their states. This was not just a religious shift, it was a deep social, economic, and administrative transformation. Islam helped the Mongols move away from a purely nomadic identity and adopt a more settled, urban, and organized way of life. The Islamization of the Mongols also reshaped the Islamic world itself. While the Mongols brought an end to the Abbasid Caliphate, they also contributed to the rise of powerful Muslim empires such as the Timurid Empire, Ottoman Empire, and the Mughal Empire. In this way, the Islamization of the Mongols marked the beginning of a new era, an era whose impact is still visible today. Even now, the legacy of the Mughal dynasty continues to shape our history and culture. This was the story of how Genghis Khan, who was never a Muslim, and his descendants eventually became part of the Islamic world. Let us know what you thought of this story in the comments. Do like, share, and subscribe to History Connect for more stories from history.